This is Vigilante Video Game Review, technical analysis of Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway.
This is the infamous out-of-the-world bug. I've fallen out of the world. I haven't really completely fallen out of the world in a way because there's these kind of wasted polys underneath the world that has caught me from falling to my death. I would have no doubt continued to fall if these polys weren't here and eventually died by being out of bounds of the world completely. But instead I get caught, and now I'm in this situation where I don't die and I'm running around kind of stuck between worlds. This is a common bug, this type of bug. Almost every game that ships, you can, in some place somewhere, find a way to get out of the world. It's just how common it is, and in this case, it's probably pretty uncommon because I just happened to pick up this sniper rifle, and I went into scopes in this kind of odd area and bounced out of the world. Normally in this game, I'd probably have my my handy Garand instead of a sniper scope. So probably QA, figured, didn't find this, but my hunch is probably they did find it. Simply, it was considered a low priority bug to fix because you have to carry this one particular weapon and use it in this one particular place, and pop, you get it out of the world. It's kind of a bummer because now I'm going to end up having to die, and it's been quite a while before the autosave system saved, so I'm going to lose all that progress for a fucking bug. But that's the way it goes, unfortunately. There's some dudes flying in the air. I wonder if I could even kill myself. Might have to even restart the game, I don't know. This is it's kind of interesting that games like this probably ship with literally hundreds of bugs that are just known bugs. They're just considered unlikely to happen. And I've been a big proponent of not doing that, trying to get the absolute number down, even on these low priority bugs. And the reason is a game can ship with hundreds of these, and even though every one of them is very unlikely to be found, if you go through the game, you're just likely to find one of them. Say like, oh, this is less than 1%, this is less than 1%, this is less than 1%. But if you got over 100 bugs, every player is probably going to find them once at least one of them. So I don't even know what. Looks like everybody's kind of frozen. The AI doesn't seem to know I'm here. I doubt I can shoot them even. Let's see what happens. I'm hitting the ground, obviously, so they can't see me. I can't hit them. I can't shoot them. They can't interact with them. They don't know I'm here. But the infamous out of the world bug. And these are all wasted polys. I don't even know why they have them. It's just a complete waste of polys. You shouldn't have them. You can't see them. So they shouldn't exist, and it's preventing me from dying a graceful death. It's kind of fun to maybe run around where you can't possibly get to normally in the game. I'm certainly out of the kind of zone that you can even normally go if directly above me, the ground there. The reason you don't see the ground, of course, is because it's there. It's just what they call one-sided poly, so you can only see it from above. I'm of course looking down. That's of course very efficient, and there's no wasted, two-sided polys when you don't need them, rendering them potentially when you never can see them, even though in geometry you could potentially see them, but in reality you wouldn't be able to see them because the ground isn't translucent. Running through the plane of forever. Oh, I've hit an invisible wall. So this is interesting. They actually have some kind of barrier. Oh, looks like I'm hitting the back side of the polys. That's it. Yeah, this is the ground comes down and meets this, and this is probably just just kind of a background, just a very far distant background plane that they interestingly kind of suck down in the village where you're going to be playing at, I guess, so it doesn't pop out through the geometry any place. So you'll never know that the background plane actually comes down right to where you're at. It's interesting, you can see those LOD in. Yeah, it's a smooth LOD. It's kind of like it's just a growing LOD. Usually you have like certain, like 3-4 different levels of like resolution and complexity of these kind of objects, and they just kind of pop between them, and the trick is to get them to pop outside your visual sight so you can't see them. But here you can definitely see them LOD in, but they don't LOD like normal. They kind of scale. That's pretty interesting. I've never seen that technique used before. I think it would work pretty effectively, but certainly if you get too close to it, at least at the wrong angle, you can obviously see it, LODing. When you get close to it, of course, yeah, it doesn't change. If you're on the same plane, I guess that's the idea, since it's supposed to be looked at from roughly, ground level. It just kind of fills out in front of you. Nice effect. Oh no, I can't go under the barbed wire. That's the actual boundary. Ooh, found a hole through. Maybe, can I come back to the real world? Nah, I doubt it. I'll still get stuck on the border polys. This doesn't, if you have a jump button, it's potentially possible you can sometimes jump out of the world back into it through jumping. But in a game like this, you have no jump button. You got just a hop over, obstacle button. And that ain't gonna cut it to get me back into the world. Ooh. That is scary shit there. It's almost pushing out to the actual outside the skybox, it looks like. Or I guess they don't have a skybox down. They don't have any polys for it. Oh, what the heck? I've gone into land outside of the... I don't know what that was. That's strange. Obviously, the areas outside the world are almost never QA'd. And if anybody ever put in a QA bug that said, like, when I was outside the world, I saw this weird thing happen, they would laugh you out of the QA department. Well, this is interesting. I'm kind of back on top of the world now, or, well, no, I got out of the world. That's interesting. I should say I got out of the underworld. See if I can, these aren't even interactable objects. This is still kind of in the background scenery I'm running around. Let's see, fire hurts you here. So let's see if it hurts me outside the world. Nope. I don't have a pain, object on this fire, so it's just intended for background, so I can run through it without risk of injury. See if I can climb this. No. Interesting. I can't even climb a dirt berm. It must be that all of that stuff is tagged in the engine, in the editor when you're creating the world. It's not based on the actual geometry. It's based on just level designer placed objects, which is a perfectly acceptable way of doing it, but not necessarily the slickest. This is interesting. Take. Why are there weapons just randomly placed around in this thing? See, this is kind of a waste. I mean, might have been some strange starting point for some unit that hasn't spawned yet or something, I guess. I don't know. No, it can't be that. It's just a waste. Again, more kind of just wasted memory. Now, obviously, during development, there might have been a reason that you had these things here. You might be able to pop in the world and grab them, and testing and stuff like that. But you should probably delete that before you actually ship the game. Well, after that, I went back to the very start of the level and was exploring around. It's kind of interesting. The whole game, the whole map is there, just at LOD's level of details in and out as you move through it, based on switches. Unfortunately, one of those switches did not turn off the save point. I hit a save point earlier on in the game, and it completely screwed me. I had to play the whole level over again, and these are pretty long levels. So let that be a lesson to you. If you're running around outside the world and you're playing an autosave game, be very careful because you can get seriously screwed. But other than that, it's a really very solid game and works very well, and I highly recommend it for that type of game, a tactical shooter. And that's it for me, James Farley, Vigilante Center, Vigilante out.